Hi, my name is Sam Amoline, and this is my presentation on tort liability. The definition of tort liability, I'm not going to go through it because I'm limited on time with my video, but we will be going through different court cases where tort definitely is a focus, and we're going to see what the schools did, what the courts did, and how we would react to it if we had to do it all over again. First case is Franklin versus Gwinnett County Public Schools. Here we had a teacher sexually harass a student. It was Mr. Hill and harassed a student, Miss Franklin, throughout the year. The student reported the harassment to teachers and the district, and they did not really do anything. The only thing they did was they made Hill resign to drop the entire case, the teacher. First, the lower courts dismissed the case because Franklin wanted money, and they said that they couldn't sue for money damages because the teacher was already gone. Well, it went to the Supreme Court, and they all unanimously said that actually they could get money from title monies. So just because the teacher wasn't there, that Franklin actually was owed money because the adults, the administration, the teachers did not report this properly. It was negligence on their part. My reactive approach to this would be definitely when it happens, you have to get the teacher out of the school. So suspend them, have an investigation by the police, and then train my staff. Just on reporting techniques of harassment, when to report harassment, who to go to. Your staff definitely needs to know that needs to be told to adults, to the police, to anybody that can help this student out because they're unsafe. Proactively, though, I would say that more training needs to be done because policy isn't in place. Okay, you need to train on how harassment affects kids, how it is a serious business, all those things. Also, a policy in your board policy needs to be present. Obviously, it wasn't because the board of education or the administration didn't do anything. Next, Gebser versus Lago Vista Independent School District. This case had a high school student who had a secret sexual affair with a teacher. They were discovered, and the teacher was arrested and fired. Gebser then sued the district because of damages because of the relationship. In this decision, though, the court said that the school district was not liable because the relationship was secret, and that the school didn't know anything about it. But once they did know something about it, they had the guy arrested and fired. So they actually did the proper thing. They can't really do anything when they don't know. But once they did know, they did the appropriate action. My reactive measures would definitely be what the school did. So they did a great job. They fired the guy, they suspended him before they fired him, investigated it, and then did the appropriate action. I trained the staff definitely in relationships with students. We're here for them to learn, for them to be safe. Once you go beyond that, it's inappropriate. So training definitely is involved. Proactive, one thing I would add is communicate my vision if I'm a leader of the staff. Let them know that any type of inappropriate behavior with students is not going to be tolerated. When they know your vision, it's easy to follow. So, Frame versus, I'm going to call him Mr. C. We have a student that was disciplined by a teacher after he would not get out of the classroom. Mr. C grabbed the student, that's Frame, and the kid fell into a podium. Well, the parents did not like that. They sued. They said that the teacher is being excessive and his actions weren't warranted. Well, the court disagreed with that. They thought the teacher was justified in his battery because Frame, the student, did not get out of the classroom and the teacher was just trying to continue the learning process. Even though that the school or the teacher weren't blamed for this, I would still have a lot of reactive measures to prevent this. You want to de-escalate a situation like this whenever possible. So I'd have my staff train on that. Maybe a memo on removing students right off the bat. maybe have something in place where teachers really shouldn't touch students unless the safety of other students is in question. Proactive, I would have training annually on de-escalation, how to get kids to calm down, how to get kids to get out of your room without having physical violence be the need. Also, PBIS training is really good. That positive behavior intervention system, teaching kids how to cope with anger situations would be great on the student side. Flanagan versus Canton. This is a gym class where kids were being rowdy, kids were being bad, and at the end of the gym class, when a teacher was yelling at students away from this kid Flanagan, he was pushed over and injured and had to get a procedure done. He was that badly injured, so he was taken to court. The court would ultimately decide to side with the student because the teacher knew that the kids were being rowdy and he let some kids be unsupervised. So it was the teacher's fault. They were liable because he knew that the kids were being rowdy. They were being bad, for lack of a term. But he left them without supervision. So this is definitely a case for reactive teaching. You train your staff. You let them know that you can't let kids out of your sight, especially when they are being rowdy, when they are being difficult, things like that. Proactive would be reviewing gym best practices. Maybe the gym needs more resources. Maybe they need another teacher and aide, something to help them out because they have too many kids. Things that you could just look at for the gym class and say, maybe it's not working very well. Last but not least, Davis versus Monroe County Board of Education. This is a case where a mother sued the Board of Education because her daughter was suffering sexual harassment from a student, was reporting it, and the Board of Ed didn't take it seriously. They didn't report it. They didn't do anything about it. The court, I went to the Supreme Court, they awarded Davis her settlement because the school did not report it. They were deliberately indifferent to the harassments. So, like this case and the other ones before it, a lot of the fault lies in when the adults don't take the students seriously, when they don't take the harassment charges seriously, and it wound up with them forfeiting over some of their title money. My reactive response would be have the adults trained, have the ones that ignored it probably removed from the district because they probably don't belong within your vision. Educate students, again, a proactive approach. Educate students on how to report harassment, how to tell adults that they are not safe and that somebody needs to help them. Lastly, we have to report on the ethics that would help promote ideas and avoid these situations. I'd say respect among staff and students is one of the golden rules. If you respect someone, you're probably not going to harass them. If you promote respect, then you're probably going to listen to somebody when they're in trouble. So respect is one of the best ethical values you can have in a workplace. Prevention of harassment. Take every claim seriously. Don't just think that something is frivolous because the student might be making it up. Think over your actions. Don't have knee-jerk reactions like grabbing students and physically harming them. You need to take a step back and think, especially when there's time. Be considerate. Think of others. Think of what your actions are doing. If someone's telling you that they're not safe, you need to make them safe, especially if they're a student, because that's your job. I hope you enjoy my presentation, and I look forward to your comments.